What's up everybody, my name is Vincent. Welcome to Cryptolution, where we talk about everything under the moon in the crypto universe. Today's Friday, October 31st. Now, before the weekend begins and we come back next Monday, I want to share with you what I'm seeing in the MACD indicator within the charting and analysis. Because based on what I'm seeing with the MACD indicator, we could see a potential breakout in November of this year, meaning a breakout into the buyer's market. So what does that look like? Well, before we get into that, let's cover everything that's been happening within the macro scheme of things within cryptocurrency, then talk about updates within the dog economy. So let's get right into it. Let's not waste any time. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join us on X, and please be careful with any of the scammers down in the comments below. I'll never reach out via WhatsApp, Telegram, direct messaging, or email. So please be careful and invest safely. Guys and girls, let's get right into it. So as of right now, dog is up 4.24%. It's still within the top 200 ranking on CoinMarketCap. So it's at $162 million in terms of that market cap. Now, looking at Bitcoin's price, it's hovering around 110,000. Again, Bitcoin dominance continues to dominate, which means that altcoins tend to pull back harder and they don't tend to gain traction even when Bitcoin tends to pump. And this is completely normal. We actually want Bitcoin to garner more attraction and more price movement above Ethereum and above any other altcoin. Now, this is good. We actually want Bitcoin to continue to make new all-time highs, because if Bitcoin makes new all-time highs, those funds rotate into top 10 altcoins and most likely speculative risk on assets such as meme coins. And let's look into the Bitcoin monthly returns. Right now, we're still ending the month in the negative 4%. This is the second worst performing month in October for Bitcoin's entire history, just to give you some context. So if October is going to be a bearish month for Bitcoin, what about for November? It looks like November could actually be more of a bullish month. And not just that, for dog Bitcoin as well. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But let's see who's been buying the dip, regardless of all the FUD that's going on in the market and the manipulation that's going on with the market. Tom Lee, part of BitMine, is buying a ton of Ethereum. Now, even though people are thinking that the top is in, or that the top is going to end by Q4 of this year, you're still seeing Tom Lee buy millions of dollars of Ethereum regardless. So what does that actually mean for meme coins? Well, meme coins are risk on assets. They're actually riskier than the top 10 altcoins. So to me, majority of these altcoins, I'm talking about altcoins in general, not just meme coins, roughly like 95% of altcoins may not actually do that well in this next bull run, meaning even if Ethereum, Bitcoin, and top 10 altcoins tend to pump, the 95% of over 15 million cryptocurrencies won't do that well. But in my eyes, I think like the top 20 of the meme coin sector will do very well. Even dog Bitcoin, which is in the top 20, falls in that sector, and it's the number one meme coin on Bitcoin. You can see that it's up around close to 4%, and you're seeing ModCoin kind of drop down a little bit just because it has more tier 1 centralized exchange listings. But really, I think that dog Bitcoin is actually doing quite well, considering that it only has one tier 1 centralized exchange listing. Now let's look at the altcoin market cap long-term risk. As you can see, this has been the longest consolidation of the altcoin market that we've ever seen in the history of cryptocurrency. This is mainly due to institutional adoption, mainly hedge funds, family offices, and also big banks. And you're seeing big predominant leaders and voices step in. I mean, we're not going to see rallies like the 2021 bull rally, because remember, we had a lockdown and there is a ton of money printing happening around the world. We will not see that type of bull run for this next bull run for 2026, or even within this next cycle that we're in right now. And we could see something maybe similar to 2017, where it was actually a big pump, but it wasn't due to the whole altcoin market pumping. It was actually due to, because there were only a few thousand back over here. Back in 2017, there was the ICO run that was happening as well. We may not see something like this, but I definitely think that because dog Bitcoin is a niche market within itself, we've never seen fungible tokens on Bitcoin, let alone a meme coin on Bitcoin. So I think whatever happens with the altcoin sector, dog Bitcoin tends to stay away from that and have its own narrative, just like XPX 6900, just like Pudgy Penguins and their Pengu token. It will have its own run, and people will FOMO in very late in the game. Even Benjamin Cohen, part of the Into the Cryptoverse YouTube channel, he even says that, yeah, we haven't seen euphoria just yet, and why not? Now, we may not see these previous bull runs that we've seen in 2013, 17, 2021, we may not even see a massive rally at the end of this year, is what he's saying. But it's not out of the question. But the fact is, we haven't seen that euphoria kick in, and when it does kick in, even he agrees that maybe it could happen. But again, it's dubious speculation, as he would say. So I definitely think that we are still within the window of an altcoin market bull run, but we need to see that euphoria. We need to see Bitcoin meet new all-time highs. So now let's move on to dog data. So shout out to BitMax, who created this website called dogdata.xyz. It gives you exact information regarding the market cap, volume, total supply, circulating supply, even especially the most important, total holders. Now remember, back in December of 2024, we had 107,000 holders. Now we have 92,000. So that's roughly close to around 14 to 15,000 holders that have been liquidated out of their positions. This is very good to have this exact data because you really understand there are still 92,000 convicted holders within Bitcoin, and the fact that we lost roughly 14 to 15,000 holders ever since December of 2024 just goes to show you this is the whole point of these market manipulations, is to shake people out. And it did. It shook 14 to 15,000 people. And that's how you shake out the paper hands. It's just in the data. Now, when you scroll down to the holders list, you'll understand who the top holder is to the least holder, which could be on the last page. And it has a specific icon based on the exchange that is holding those tokens. As you can see, number 1 is BitGet, number 2 is Gate.io, and then number 3 we have, I think that's MACD. We have the 5th one, which I think is the Merlin chain, I believe it or not. Again, these icons are very small, but nonetheless, this is great information. And then when you go to the market section, you can understand the trading volume that you're seeing here with every single exchange that's happening right now for Bitcoin. That's absolutely very exciting. Shout out to BitMax. Speaking of BitMax, he just shared yesterday that the wallets that are accumulating Bitcoin are accumulating. As you can see, these are whale wallets. So you can see number 68, 62, 17, 27, 66, and 92 are accumulating. But are they accumulating that much? The thing is, we're in the neutral buy zone, so some people are kind of speculating on the side what they should do. But you can see very smart investors such as wallet number 68 and 62, they are buying as much as possible. Now, let's talk about this specific image. We have Henry Dog. I'm not sure if he grabbed this image or somebody else. Please leave a comment down below to know the source of this. But he shared with us the top 10 most active crypto groups on crypto Twitter within the month of October in 2025. Believe it or not, you see that Bitcoin is number 6. This is very big. In terms of October of 2025, it surpassed Pepe, Shiba Inu, even strong altcoin armies such as Cardano and XRP, which are one of the largest altcoin armies out there. They aren't showing up as much as the Dog army. In fact, we're right below Dogecoin, BNB chain, which by the way is pushed by CZ, and by Binance, by the way, Solana, which has a really big ecosystem, along with Ethereum, and obviously Bitcoin, which is the main talked about cryptocurrency in the world. Bitcoin is in that category. Thank you so much for sharing this image. Now, speaking of which, in terms of garnering the most engagement on crypto Twitter, I just found out today that I'm the #1 voice and reach within the Gemini ecosystem, just due to the fact that we have an immense request for spot trading on Gemini. And this is good. The reason I want you to keep pushing for this is because we need to let Gemini know we want this so badly that if you do not, we will FUD you and we will call you out for engagement farming. And this is what I've been trying to do, because regardless, this is what I did with Kraken. So with Gemini just around the corner, who knows? Maybe they're silent right now because maybe they will list dog for spot trading. We don't know. But nonetheless, you need to keep engaging with Gemini regardless. Now, you're still seeing Austin Oaks, who is still a huge advocate behind the dog army. He's not shy, loves to talk about it. And since he's going to be posting on the streets very soon of him with a billboard and dog, which he has confirmed he's going to do very soon, we have Plebius Maximus saying when dog, when mim, and Austin Oaks says soon. So obviously more confirmation that he's going to do it very soon. And also shout out to the dog army for getting Giovanni to his 1,000 followers. Remember, he had roughly around 500 followers. Last time it was October 22nd. Today is October 31st. But the reason he deserves these amount of followers is because he actually bought dog. And he holds dog to this date. Now, as he was sharing this, one of his other members called Ethan Kimmel said, unreal. And I said to him, should the dog army get you to 3,000 followers? Because right now he has roughly around 2.3 thousand followers. And he says, obviously. Now, a lot of you have actually shared concerns with me, which is the fact that is he just engagement farming or is he actually wanting to support the dog army? So I'll let you decide on what to do with that. But if you want to help him get to 3,000 followers, I'm sure that would help him very much. And I'm sure that the Gemini team would probably pay attention to that. But know this, Ethan Kimmel works in the credit card department, not the exchange. And as a reminder, I want you to engage with this post because I retweeted, aka reposted, the application that we submitted Dog to Gemini back in October 2nd. So it's roughly been around 29 days as of today since we submitted that application. Just asking Gemini support, hey, just give us an update, give us a review status on our application. We would greatly appreciate it. Now let's move on to Coinbase. So as you can see, we're seeing that Rune Mine, aka Mine Labs, just announced that sooner or later, you're going to start to see Bitcoin meme coins on the Base app. So that's coming soon to what they're saying. When Dog is available on Base chain, then that should be available on Coinbase. Next up, we have to talk about this other thing, which is what is the most demanded token wanting a spot listing on Coinbase? I just asked Grok within X about that. Believe it or not, Dog Bitcoin stands as the most demanded token seeking that spot listing, and it has all the data to prove it. This is amazing, okay? Not any other token has showed up this hard for a Coinbase spot listing. So just give yourself some credit where credit is due because you show up every single day, even during a red market, during bearish times, when there's uncertainty, you still show up because you know that there's more upside because we don't have these listings on Coinbase, on Binance, on Gemini, on all these other exchanges, because those things come with more upside and it doesn't come without hard work. But I want to share with you this specific image, which is the difference between US regulated crypto exchanges compared to non-regulated. So if you look to the left, the regulated exchanges within the US, check this out. So Kraken, you already know, is the first tier 1 to list off for spot trading. But what's great is that they have a lot of transparency and a lot of great communication. And as you know, they're Bitcoin meme coin advocates. You know that they have Bitcoin meme coin bundles. They have ultimately 5 Bitcoin meme coins on their exchange for spot trading. But not only that, you have innovative leaders like Arjan Sethi. You also have Matthew Barbie. And these people are leading the Bitcoin meme coin narrative within their own exchange. And they continue to talk about Dog to other people on their own social platforms. Now let's talk about Coinbase. We already got confirmation from the Coinbase team that Dog is being reviewed within the Blue Carpet program and that we now have direct communication with their team, which Leonidas has publicly shared that they're in communication with Leonidas, and we had responses from Shaw, who's the listing agent over at Coinbase, telling the Dog Army what criteria and standards meets for a token to be listed within Coinbase. And to me, we meet a majority of those spot standards. And if there's any delay, the only thing that's delaying Dog from being listed on Coinbase is the Rune infrastructure, which could be pending right now, just like what we saw before Kraken. Next up, we have Gemini. Gemini, they've been marketing the Dog awareness. Now, we just don't have Austin Oaks, doing social media content, or Jeremy working on the Gemini X account, but we also have Olivia, the head of marketing over at Gemini, reposting their posts that feature Dog. That's amazing. And you know that the whole community within Gemini has been engaging with the Dog Army, from the credit card companies, from the social media teams, you name it. And obviously you had Giovanni, who is a team member holding Dog publicly, and pretty much what Dog and Gemini have, they align in terms of their communities. And that's why this is very important to focus on US regulated exchanges compared to the non-regulated ones. And why is that? If you think about OKX, KuCoin, HTX, Binance US, Bybit, and Binance, they don't have any communication. There's no transparencies. A lot of their paid listing fees are disguised as packages. If it's marketing, token allocations for funds, whatever it may be, it's disguised as packages. And all of them have been engagement farming about Dog, especially HTX and OKX. They've been engagement farming Dog for quite a long time. Their main thing is always focusing on profits. Apparently profits are greater than community in their eyes. But you know what? On these exchanges to the left, community is more important and greater than profit. And that's why I appreciate them. Now here's the fun part of the video, which is the MACD indicator. This is something I brought up in the very beginning of the video. Now, could we see a potential breakout in November? I actually think we could. I think we potentially could. Why is that? Now, notice something with these green lines. Why do I point out these green lines and also these yellow smiley faces? Well, these yellow smiley faces look like a bottom on the MACD every single time. And you'll notice another thing about the MACD. You notice that the blue and orange line start to trend upwards out of the seller's market into the buyer's market, where we have a breakout, which is this collision emoji. Now, this collision emoji aligns with what we're seeing within the Rainbow Adaptive RSI. Same thing right over here. You see the bottom right over here with the smiley orange line? Well, with the green line showing us in an uptrend, we're heading to a buyer's market until there's a breakout right around here, and it aligns with the Rainbow Adaptive RSI. Now, let's look over here. This is a new trend. Now, what we're seeing over here is that there is the bottom, which is the yellow smiley face. And then you have the green line showing us again heading upwards towards a buyer's market, potentially with a breakout, maybe around here. I don't know. This is just a guess, but it could happen within the month of November. And that could be when dog breaks out to the upside, because you saw here when it broke out to the upside, and you saw it over here when it broke out to the upside. So we could see it happen in the month of November, which would align with the altcoin market possibly reaching into that euphoric stage. And who knows, maybe Bitcoin may meet its top just by the end of this year and then return back in May of 2026 when we have a new Fed chair that Donald Trump is going to choose, which could be very bullish for the crypto market and the stock market. So this is just something I want to share with you, and I think it's very important to just pay attention to the MACD indicator along with the Rainbow Adaptive RSI. Both of these are free indicators on TradingView. Now, all in all, given all the data that I've shared with you, you know that I'm very bullish around dog Bitcoin. You've seen the dog data shared by BitMax. You've seen the whales accumulating behind the scenes, but most importantly, you saw the MACD indicator trending upwards out of the seller's market very slowly into the buyer's market with a breakup potentially in November. But can that trend break? Meaning, could we go back to the downside and that's just a complete fake out? Anything's possible. Listen, charting and analysis does not predict the future. The point of it is to minimize the risk and garner more reward. It doesn't promise that there isn't any risk. That's the whole point of charting analysis. It should try to ratio the amount of wins that we can get and better position ourselves. Okay, so that's just something I want to share with you. So let me know your thoughts down below. I just want to wish everybody a happy Halloween. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll be back next Monday unless something crazy goes on over the weekend. I'll make another video. But until then, I'll make a video next Monday regarding dog Bitcoin. So please, by supporting the channel, smash up that like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to join us on X to receive all of our alpha calls and updates regarding dog and the moon. Till then, see you guys girls next time.